Alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Half of you might not like what I got to say right now, but I'm gonna say it because I've had enough, fam. You know, and I'm not the only one that's been experiencing this, bro. Other brothers have been experiencing this as well, fam. Especially the reverse, and especially the black ones. Why am I going to the mosque, fam? And no one wants to touch my toes, fam. There was me in the middle, a Somalian to the left, and an Asian man to the right, bro. The Somalian came through, first thing he done was touch my toes. I'm trying to touch the Asian man's toes. The Asian man don't want to touch his toes next to mine, fam. This ain't the first time it's happened, you know. It's a recurring cycle. I'm not the only brother that's gone through this. I've had conversations with previous brothers that say the same thing. What's wrong with the Asian man? What's wrong with the Arab man? Forgive me, cause I know all of you ain't like that, but I'll be honest, I feel like most of you are, bro, because most of you do it, bro. I ain't trying to draw no one out, and I'm not trying to make the deen look bad, but at the end of the day, bro, we're all meant to be brothers. You feel me? So not touching toes or not touching elbows is crazy, knowing that there's gaps in between the line. If there's gaps in between the line, then what does that mean? Shaitan can come through and mess up the prayers. You might not care about your prayers, innit? But I do, bro. Because I know where I'm trying to end up, bro. So please, in future, if you're known to do this, or if you're someone that does this, stop this now, man. Because you're not only messing up the prayers, but you're making it seem like, I wouldn't say we're not worthy, but there's a problem or there's an issue. So with that, all I want to say is La ilaha illallah. I am my brother's keeper. And from when you see me dressed like this, don't ever hesitate to touch my toes. Because like you, I'm willing to die for this shit.
Alright, Shalom. As always, all praises, honor, and glory goes to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Barakaha Kodash. Double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to the elect, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Lord willing, this one will be edifying to the elect. And as you hear this confused brother here, you know, ranting on about how Moab and Ishmael treats him, it serves you right, because, you know, let me just get a quick precept here as I speak. This is Second Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 11, and it says, "For this cause Yahweh shall send them strong delusion, that they should believe a lie." And this is, you know, a part of the curses as well, because the truth is our people have been destroyed, you know, for a lack of knowledge, and also the curses have and is still doing a number on our people as we speak. And that's how you identify who are the true children of Israel, by the curses. But our people don't understand these things. So our people are psychologically fucked, and they have trauma, which is, you know, sent down through generations of slavery, right? So they seek the truth. They seek to be close to God or a power, but they do not know. You know, as the scripture speaks about, you know, Israel not knowing their owner, but an ox knoweth its owner. You know, the ass, sorry. Matter of fact, let me get that scripture here as we speak. Nah, that's not the one I want. So let me go here. Ox knoweth. Don't want to butcher it, right? Because the truth is, man, as I mentioned here, so this is Isaiah chapter 1, verse 3, and it says, "The ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib." And the ass is a very dumb animal. But even a dumb animal knows its owner. But Israel does not know. My people do not consider. And the thing is, they are dumb people. They're in a dumb state, you know, as a result of the curses. But they don't even consider these things, because prophets have been telling you, Jake wannabe Muslims for years, that you're not Muslims. You're not an Arab. This is an Arab culture, an Arab religion. Hence why they speak Arabic, or however you want to say it, because that's their actual religion. But the thing is, Esau Edom has universalized all cultures and made it and made you believe that you can just be whatever religion you want to be. when you the God that you serve is based on your nation, right? All these different nations have their gods, but there's only one true God, and the true God is the God of Israel. So again, this is Second Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 11, and it says, "For this cause God has sent them strong delusion, that they should believe a lie." So that's why you have Jakes like him, that they believe this lie that they're Muslims and they want to be they want everyone to be equal. You know, they don't consider that these nations have let me get it here. This is you know, they don't like you, man. They'll never see you as equals, because spiritually, you know, subconsciously, that's what it is, because we don't have remembrance of former things in our former lives. But subconsciously, somehow, some way, you know, we all know, we all, our spirit bears witness with certain things, and they know that we're above them. But in this reality, that's not the case. You know, that's not how things are set out in reality. So when you read Psalms chapter 83, I have it here in the books. Let me just read it. It says, verse 3 says, "They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, Come, let us cut them off from being a nation." And how do you do that? By taking away a nation's customs, by enslaving them, by beating their language out of them, by removing the remembrance of who they are, who their culture is, who their God is, that the name of Israel may no more be in may be no more in remembrance. And that's what they all did. They all consulted against us, right? For they have consulted together with one consent. They are a confederate against thee. So let me just bear with me here. Slovakia. Yeah, so that's the point. Like, these nations have teamed up against you. So it says the tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites, the Arabs, and the Edomites are the so-called white people today, these crackers. So again, it says the tabernacle of Edom and the Ishmaelites of Moab and the Hagarenes. So the Moabites are the Asians, you know, the Japanese, the Koreans, the Chinese. And you hear him talking about the Asian man. They don't like you. They all they're all a confederate against you. There's a confederation against you Israelite men. You know, you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, and Israelites looking like the other heathen. The curses don't escape you either. Even if you look like a so-called white man or a so-called Ishmaelite or a so-called Moabite, the curses will still find you. You will still be oppressed through the spirit. However, the ones of us that physically look like our race, what I mean by that is they have the Israelite look, you know, the dark skin, woolly hair look. We are there's a confederacy against us in this world. But you do not know these things because the book, the religion that you're following, does not teach you who you are, right? It does not teach you Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 9, that know therefore that the Lord, Yahweh, thy power, he is God. The faithful, actually, let me start from 6, right? So this is Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 6, because this is what our power, Yahweh, who the world ignorantly calls God or Allah or whatever it may be. His true name is Yahweh, and he is the God of the Israelites. He's the only true God. And his son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, his name is Yahweh Shai. That's why we say all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh in the name of Yahweh Shai. Right? So it says, "For thou art an holy people unto Yahweh thy power. Yahweh thy power has chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth." So the Lord ordained us to be above all people. We're a chosen people, we're a special people above all of these people on the planet Earth. But you, Jake, you don't want to hear that. You want to include every nation. You said, "Oh, well, I'll die for these. I die for my brothers." They're not your brothers. Your brothers are Israelite, fellow Israelite men. Okay? So this is Deuteronomy chapter 14, verse 2. "For thou art an holy people unto Yahweh thy power, and Yahweh has chosen thee to be a peculiar people unto himself above all nations that are upon the earth." Okay, so let's go into the word peculiar here. Because we're a special people, man. And the word peculiar here, but you people don't want to be a peculiar, special people above others. You want to share your blessings with these nations, but don't worry, the nations will benefit from from Israel being in power. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But right now they're mourning because the wicked is in authority. But when the righteous are in authority, they're gonna flow to us like a river. They're gonna come to our mountain or rulership, and they're gonna learn from us, right? Because we will be on top and we'll be teaching them righteousness. But the word here in the Hebrew is
Strong's H 5459. Segalah. Segalah.
sagla, right? And this word means possession, property, valuable treasure. So we're a valuable treasure unto Yahweh, right? Yahweh has chosen us to be a valuable treasure, right? So let's see what else I have here. Okay. Bear with me here. Right, so I can go into this. Okay, so this is Deuteronomy chapter 12, verse 28, right? And it says, observe and hear all these words which I have commanded thee, that it may go well with thee and with thy children after thee forever, when thou doest that which is good and right in the sight of Yahweh thy power. When Yahweh thy power shall cut off the nations from before thee, right? Whither thou goest to possess them, thou succeedest them and dwellest in their lands. Take heed, this is a commandment. Take heed to thyself that thou be not snared by following them, right? So the Lord is telling us not to follow these nations, right? Again, take heed to thyself that thou be not snared by following them. After that, they be destroyed from before thee, and that thou inquire not after their gods. So we're not supposed to inquire after their gods. We're not supposed to be following Buddha, not supposed to be following JC, as the Christians put it, as these crackers have created a whole religion out of our history and our book. Not supposed to be following the Muslim religion. You're not supposed to be having the Kaaba stone in your mind, which is still idol worship, even though Muslims will try to say that they don't worship it. It all goes back to paganism, right? Their religion all goes back to moon worship, right? And their religion came in the 7th century when the Bible exists from the 1st century. So you think about that. Just think about that, right? And then it says, my bad, it says, again, it says, take heed to thyself that thou be not snared by following them. After that, they be destroyed from before thee, and that thou inquire not after their gods, saying, how did these nations serve their gods? Even so will I do likewise. Exactly, you're not supposed to do that. Thou shalt not do so unto Yahweh thy power, for every abomination to the Lord which he hateth have they done unto their gods. For even their sons and their daughters they have burned in the fire to their gods, right? So they do a lot of pagan idolistic things, right? That's what heathens do, but Israel is not supposed to follow. That's why the scripture speaks about following not a multitude to do evil and not learning the ways of the heathen. Okay? And it says, what thing soever I command you, again, it's a commandment, observe to do it. Thou shalt not add thereto, nor diminish from it. So learn not the way of the heathen, right? Follow not a multitude to do evil. So let me just pull that one up here. I think I had it here in the browser here. So it says, Jeremiah chapter 10, verse 2, thus saith Yahweh, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of the heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. Right? So when the chariots come to deliver us, these heathen are going to be terrified. Right? But that's why you don't want to be in a heathenistic mindset. You don't want to be in a Islamic mindset, because when the deliverance comes, most likely you will be of the 2/3, because The elect will not be dismayed. The elect will know that that's our salvation. The elect will not be dismayed at the signs. And verse 3 says, for the custom of the people are vain. It's very vain, because they worship a false god. They worship a god that doesn't exist. For one cutteth the tree out of the forest, and the Christians do this in Christmas time. So they fit this as well, along with the other heathen in the ancient world, right? Because there's many different pagan religions, man. Many, 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 many. It says the work of the hands of the workman with the axe. They decked it with silver and gold, and they fastened it with nails. So the point is, idol worship, all of these different religions, they have their Kaaba stone, you have different religion. Elamite religions, they worship the cow, the animal, and different, bullshit like that. Okay, so that's pretty much a point here, man. You Israelites don't know who you are. You don't consider, because the Lord has destroyed you for a lack of knowledge. The deceived and the deceiver are his. So the Lord has those that he deceives and those that he used to deceive others, right? So this scripture is on my mind. So let me just pull it up here. Because it's not too late for some of you people, because we don't know who's of the elect. We just do the work, the work that the Lord has given us to do, right? And in doing so, the Lord wakes up different individuals that are potential elect members, right? So it says, this is Isaiah chapter 55, Slakia. Isaiah chapter 55, and 6, and says, Seek ye Yahweh while he may be found. Call ye upon him while he is near. And remember, the scripture asks you, what is his son's name? What is his name, and what is his son's name, if thou can tell? So the true names are Yahweh, which the world ignorantly calls God, and Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. Those are the names that you need to call upon, right? And the Lord will sup with you if you're sincere, if you're one of his. You will receive the Spirit. Whichever measure you receive on this side, whichever measure is allotted to you on this side, you will receive, and then you will be able to retain and actually taste true life. Get a glimpse of what it is to really live. Even though we're not really living on this side, the truth gives you the answers you need. What's the right way to do this? What's the right way to live? Why we're in the situation we're in? Why things are how it is? Because nothing is going to be perfect on this side, because the earth has been given into the hands of the wicked. Right? So every one of you niggers that wake up and say I'm a Muslim, right? These small hats, these elites, they clap their hands, because that's part of their agenda. That's part of the Confederacy. They want you to believe that you're a Muslim. They want you to believe that you're a Christian. Okay, they want you to believe that you're a Rastafarian, that you're African American. They want you to believe all of these things, because it keeps you away from waking up to who you truly are, that you're the true Israelites. That the small hats, the juice guys, which they have no sauce at all, but the little hats over there, the little hats in the east over there, that are pretending to be us, that are cosplaying being us, which they're doing a terrible job, that they're not the true chosen people, that we're the true chosen people. So because Esau has a spirit where he is still vexed that he sold his covenant, which was all through the spirit, that's how the Lord just wrote the story, right? He wants his birthright back, but you cannot get that back, which is not yours. The story played out how the story played out. It's not a coulda, woulda, shoulda thing. Okay, so being in Islam, calling yourself a Muslim, that's a false religion. That's pagan worship, and that's not who you are, Jake. You're not an Arab. You're not an Arab. You're not an Ishmaelite. Don't follow a multitude to do evil, right? Learn the true history of who your people are. It doesn't start at the Moors. The Moors were going off as well. Okay? A lot of them were considering themselves being Muslims, but they weren't Muslims. They were Israelite men. But our people always practice these type of things. That's why it says Isaiah chapter 1. Let's go back, read it once more. It's the spirit. So this is Isaiah chapter 1 verse 3. The ox knoweth his owner, the ass his master's crib. But Israel doth not know, my people do not consider. And this is something that has been happening for generations, since the days of the Moors, which Moors mean black, because we did tongue twister. We did rule Europe, but we were still deceived. We weren't in our glory. We were still worshiping other gods and following pagan religions, right? But there has been a remembrance, a awakening, that has been happening, or people waking up to who they are, because we're in the last days. So you so-called African Americans, you so-called West Indians that call yourself Barbadians, Guyanese, Bahamian, Trinidadians, Jamaicans, you name it, Dutch, German, because we're scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Okay, so just know that you're the true chosen people of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai. We are the true Israelites, right? So with that, all praises, honor, and glory goes to Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai Bahashem Merkah Kodash Shalom Abad Babal.